What funny family story do you now realize was actually kinda messed up? Every Christmas morning, my dad would wake us up at 3 a.m. screaming that Santa was stuck in our chimney. We'd rush downstairs in our pajamas while he grabbed this old toilet plunger and started helping Santa get unstuck. He'd make these muffled voices from inside the fireplace, pretending to be Santa asking for help. "Pull harder! My belly's stuck! I ate too many cookies at the Johnson house." My sister Emma and I would cheer him on as he dramatically plunged the chimney opening. Dad would grunt and strain, making it look like the hardest physical labor of his life. "Almost got him! Santa, can you wiggle a little?" Then he'd respond in his Santa voice, "Ho ho ho, that tickles, keep going." After exactly 20 minutes of this rescue operation, Dad would announce success with a triumphant shout, "He's free! Santa's free!" We'd hear jingling bells from upstairs, Mom shaking her keychain, and suddenly find our presents perfectly arranged under the tree. Dad would collapse on the couch, completely exhausted from his heroic Santa rescue mission. He'd wipe fake sweat from his forehead and say, "Well, kids, Christmas is saved. Santa owes us big time for this one." This exact scenario happened every single year from when I was 4 until I turned 13. We genuinely believed our family had the most exciting Christmas tradition ever. Other families just woke up and found presents like boring people. We bragged to friends about our dad being brave enough to rescue Santa. Emma would tell elaborate stories at school about how our dad was basically Santa's personal emergency contact. Kids were jealous their dads weren't heroic enough to save Christmas. Dad had this whole mythology built around it. He'd explain that our chimney was particularly narrow, and Santa often got stuck at our house specifically. "It's because Mom makes the best cookies in the neighborhood," he'd say. "Santa always overeats here." The performance was so convincing that we'd leave extra milk and cookies every Christmas Eve, plus some butter to help Santa slide down easier. Dad would eat everything and leave crumbs around the fireplace as evidence of the struggle. Mom would play her part perfectly, acting surprised every Christmas morning. "Oh my goodness, did Santa get stuck again? Thank goodness Daddy was here to help." She'd examine the fireplace like a crime scene investigator. The tradition had strict rules we didn't question. We couldn't tell extended family about Santa getting stuck because it might embarrass him. We had to keep it secret so Santa wouldn't avoid our house. And we absolutely could not watch the rescue operation. We had to stay upstairs until Dad called us down. Everything changed the Christmas I turned 13. Emma woke up early to use the bathroom around 2 a.m. and caught Dad arranging presents under the tree. She watched him set up the whole elaborate Santa rescue scene, positioning the plunger and even sprinkling cookie crumbs around. When she confronted him the next morning after our usual rescue routine, Dad completely broke down crying. This tough guy who'd been dramatically saving Christmas for years just crumbled in front of us. Turns out Mom had been working double shifts at the hospital every December for years to afford our Christmas presents. Dad felt like a complete failure as a provider, watching his wife exhaust herself while he couldn't contribute much on his mechanic's salary. So he created this elaborate performance to feel like the hero of Christmas morning. In his mind, he wasn't just arranging presents, he was creating magic, making himself essential to the most important day of our year. We thought we were helping save Santa every Christmas. Really, we were helping Dad save his pride and feel like he was giving us something money couldn't buy. The old toilet plunger is still hanging in our garage 20 years later. None of us have the heart to throw it away. Sometimes I catch Dad looking at it with this sad smile. Last Christmas, I woke my own kids up at 3 a.m. "Quick, Santa's stuck in Grandpa's chimney and he needs our help."
Teachers, what's the dumbest reaction a parent ever had? I taught high school chemistry for 12 years. Last semester, Jake was consistently failing lab safety protocols. After 3 warnings, I gave him detention. That evening, my phone rang. "Mrs. Wilson, this is Robert Montgomery. You gave my son detention?" His voice was eerily calm. "Yes, Mr. Montgomery." Jake repeatedly ignored safety. "Do you know who I am?" he interrupted. "Jake's father?" I replied, confused. "I'm on the school board," he said, "and you will cancel that detention." I explained that Jake had nearly caused an acid spill. The rules apply to everyone. The next morning, the principal called me in. Mr. Montgomery sat there smugly. "Jake's detention is canceled," my principal announced. I felt my face burn. "Then I'm documenting this officially." Mr. Montgomery smirked. "Good luck with that." 2 weeks later, during the board meeting I attended religiously, Mr. Montgomery proposed cutting the unnecessary chemistry budget. I stood up and played the security footage from my classroom, showing Jake deliberately mixing chemicals while other students scrambled away. The board gasped. The superintendent asked, "Is this why he received detention?" "Yes," I said, "the same detention that was overturned." Mr. Montgomery's face went white. Not only was the budget saved, but his term on the school board wasn't renewed the following month. The look on his face when he realized 20 adults had just watched his son endanger classmates? Priceless.
What is the craziest case of rich people problems you've seen? I work security for celebrities in LA. Last summer, I got a code red emergency text at 3 a.m. from a tech billionaire who'd made his fortune in some app I'd never heard of. His assistant was frantic on the phone. "Mr. Knight demands immediate armed response. Possible home invasion. Multiple threats detected. Protocol required I bring backup for something this serious." I grabbed 2 team members and we sped over in our unmarked SUV, checking our weapons, running through hostage scenarios. We'd handled stalkers and actual break-ins before, so adrenaline was pumping. The estate was in hidden hills, massive iron gates, quarter-mile driveway lined with palm trees. The gates opened automatically, and 5 staff members were already waiting outside in their pajamas and robes, looking genuinely terrified. The head of household staff, a British guy named Elliot, rushed us inside this ridiculous 30,000 square foot marble monstrosity that looked like a museum had a baby with a shopping mall. The billionaire's wife met us in the kitchen, still in full makeup and a silk bathrobe, physically shaking. She pointed upstairs and whispered, "He's been in there for hours. I've never seen him like this. Please be careful." He fired the last security team. We drew our weapons and slowly approached the master suite. I could hear things being thrown and a man shouting. Inside, the billionaire, I'll call him Knight, was pacing manically, red-faced and sweating through his white Brunello Cucinelli button-down, still wearing his Rolex and Tom Ford suit pants from some charity gala they'd attended earlier, empty Xanax bottle on the nightstand. When he saw us, he literally screamed, "Finally! Do you know how long I've been waiting? You have to fix this now! I'm having people over tomorrow!" He pointed dramatically at his walk-in closet, a perfectly organized room literally bigger than my entire apartment with hundreds of designer suits, shoes arranged by color, and a center island just for watches and cufflinks. "What's the threat, sir?" I asked, still scanning for actual intruders, thinking maybe someone was hiding in there. "Look!" he yelled, pointing frantically at a wall of completely identical black t-shirts. "My idiot assistant ordered the wrong ones. These are Brunello Cucinelli, and these are James Purse. Some animal mixed them together during cleaning." I stood there, gun still drawn, staring blankly. He had to explain that his $400 t-shirts were now mixed with his $800 t-shirts, and he couldn't tell them apart without trying each one on for hand feel. His wife was rolling her eyes behind him, mouthing, "I'm sorry," to us. For 4 excruciating hours, we, 3 armed security professionals trained in counter-terrorism, sorted identical black t-shirts while this grown man inspected the fabric quality of each one, occasionally throwing a peasant shirt across the room if it didn't meet his standards. He kept saying things like, "This is why I pay you people $200K a year, and this is what real security means, protecting what matters." At 7 a.m. when we finally finished, he looked genuinely relieved, like we'd saved his life. He handed me a $10,000 check saying, "For the inconvenience, but please next time respond faster." This was genuinely traumatic for me. As we left, exhausted, his personal chef was already making him some elaborate breakfast. His wife walked us out and whispered to me, "Last month he had the entire pool drained and sanitized because someone swam in it wearing Zara swimwear. He called it contaminated." I quit 3 weeks later. The 10K helped me start my own business. Ironically, a t-shirt company. Every time I see a black t-shirt now, I remember the night I learned that money doesn't just change what you can buy, it completely warps what you think matters in life.